Hey, this is Russell Brunson, and I got a really cool tutorial for you. I'm gonna walk through 7 different sales funnel marketing tips. I wanted to give these to you guys because if you have a funnel and it's not making you money yet, it's usually not a big thing. It's usually like one of these little tiny tweaks you gotta make. So I'm gonna walk you through 7 tips that you can add any of these 7 to your funnels to make more money, have more success. With that said, let's jump into the tutorial right now. Now, if you don't have a sales funnel yet, that's okay. This is gonna give you ideas for like, oh my gosh, I could do this, I could do this, I could do this. If you do have a sales funnel and it's not doing that well, these 7 tips are gonna give you ideas of how to tweak them and change them to make them even better. So I'm gonna jump right into them right now. As you guys are hearing these, I want you to vote down below, what is your favorite tip? Number 1. You need to add more curiosity to your headlines to increase conversions. Okay, these are some of my friends, Mike and AJ, they're in my inner circle. And what's interesting is they came to inner circle and they're like, Russell, we have this webinar and it's sucking. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, it's horrible. Like, right now we're spending $24.85 to get somebody to register for the webinar, and only 22% of people actually show up. And they're like, how do we fix our webinar? And I was like, I don't even gonna touch your webinar because I'm just gonna tweak one little thing. I said, when I read your headline, it says, how to add 6 figures to your web design business by copying my secret method for helping companies get more real 5-star reviews without spending a lot of time and money. I said, when I read that, I know exactly what your webinar is about. Your webinar is going to show me how to get reviews for local customers. And if I'm like, I think I know how to do that, I'm not going to show up. I said, that's why your ad cost is so expensive, and that's why your show up rate's so low. Because people are like, I'll register, but I think I already know, so I'm not going to make it that important for me to actually show up. Okay? So I said, all you got to do is just add more curiosity to your headline. Just don't tell me what it is. Tell me what it's not. Okay? The more curiosity I have, the more likely I am to actually show up. And so he changed that, and all he did this entire webinar is he just changed the headline. Okay? So there's the old landing page. Here's the new one. Now the headline says, how I added 6 figures to my web company by adding this one easy to offer service that doesn't require cold calling, spending lots of time, money, or required extra resources. And it's not Facebook ads, not SEO, email marketing, website, social media, graphic design, digital marketing, photography, or video. Register now and find out what it is. All he did is just ramped up the curiosity, right? Like, oh, what is it? Like, I know what it's not, but I have no idea what it actually is. Okay, now the increase in curiosity makes people freak out, and guess what happened? 2 amazing things. Number 1, their ad cost went from, do you guys remember what it was before? From $24.85 to $5.84. Okay? The ad cost dropped dramatically down, and then the show up rate went from 22% to like now over a third of the people are like, I gotta find out what it is. Number 2, you need to grow your list by using a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? Okay, you guys have all seen lead funnels before. There's a funnel where someone comes on a page, you're like, hey, I'll give you this really, really cool thing if you give me your email address. And then they give you your email address, and then you give them the cool thing, and then from there you push them to the next page in your value ladder. What's the next thing? And the very first time I ever learned about lead magnets, and I want to show you guys a story because I think it'll give some of you guys aha, was back almost 15 years ago. It was a guy who's become a friend now. His name's Evan Pagan. He owned a company called Double Your Dating. And I remember he was one of the very first people ever to have a landing page like this. We call them squeeze pages. And I remember coming to this page, and I was so confused. It says, you're about to learn secrets that most men will never know about women. Inside, you're going to learn the kiss test and how to tell if she's ready to be kissed and a bunch of other things. I remember looking at this page and I was like, this is the weirdest thing I've ever seen. Okay, and for a lot of you guys, you've seen pages like this, but 15 years ago, I was like confused. And I remember I was at a marketing seminar and some guy said, yeah, this page right here, this company is $20 million a year online. And this was like the homepage of their site. I was like, what? Doesn't make any sense. And he said, yeah, they drive all the traffic here, they get a list, and then they sell the person other products and services on the back end. And I remember I wanted to like funnel hack it and go in, but I had just gotten married to my beautiful wife, Colette, and she would have strangled me if I'd signed up for a dating list. So I called her up, I was like, Colette, I'm doing some market research, I need to opt into this thing. Are you okay with that? I'm gonna get emails, but I'm not wandering, I'm just trying to figure out the marketing behind it. And she's like, okay, no worries. So I went and I subscribed to find out what in the world is the kiss test they're gonna tell me about. So I put my email address in, and then it took me to this next page, and there's like 2 or 3 paragraphs that teach the kiss test. Okay? It wasn't like a 55-minute video or a 39-page ebook. It was like 2 paragraphs. It basically said, okay, this is the kiss test. You walk a girl to the door. Okay? You're talking to him. You reach up and you touch the tips of her hair. Okay? If she pulls her head back, it means she does not want to be kissed. Like, don't kiss her, like, run away. But if she turns her head into you, that means she's into you and she wants you to kiss her. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's the kiss test. And then after that, lower on the page, it says, okay, if you like that, you should go read my book called Double Your Dating. Click here, and then people will go buy the book. Number 3 is build your sales pages for optimal conversions. Okay, this is something that I assumed everybody understood until I shared it with my team, and they were all like, what? If you look at when we sell anything, there's 3 phases of selling. Okay, the first phase is emotion. Okay, that's why I tell a story, you're emotionally engaged, and the majority of people will buy off of emotion. But there's some people like emotionally you sell them, and you're like, but they start logically trying to justify, right? So we start with emotion, then we shift to logic, and then we move to urgency and scarcity, right? People who are fear-based, like you just have to push them over the edge. Okay, if you look at any sales presentation that I do, you always see this. You'll get any email sequence I do, I always do this, right? The first emails are very emotional based, the second emails are logical based, the third emails are urgency and scarcity and fear based. Okay, every sales process, every sales funnel we take people through, we take them through the same journey, from emotion to logic to fear. Now, a lot of people understand is I do the exact same thing on the actual landing page. Okay, if you go to any of my pages, like here's the .com Secrets book, right, or the Expert Secrets book, or any of those books, this page here, the whole top section is all focused on emotion. Okay, the hook is emotional, the video is emotional, like everything here is like emotion. That's my best selling technique is emotion. So the top third of my page is all focused on emotion. Okay, and for the majority, if you put like a heat map on this and you watch it, like 90% of people like see that and they go and they buy, right? All the emotional buyers are like, I'm in, let's go do this thing. Okay, but then you have the next group, the logical people, where like they're emotional, like I want this, but like, does this really make sense? Is it okay for me? And like they start logically trying to justify everything, right? And so what happens is that those people like they need more information, they start scrolling. So then they start scrolling the page and they go down a little bit further, and now we start having these things where we logically. Okay, the second section is logic. We give all the logical arguments, like you're going to learn this, you're going to learn this, you're going to learn this, and logically understand that you need this to grow your company. And logically, and like we speak to the logic of somebody in the second section. Okay, so my scrollers are my logical buyers. So if you watch your heat maps, you'll notice in this section, people are scrolling, a bunch of people start buying. These are your logical buyers who are like, okay, that was the thing I needed right there to get me to go and buy. Okay, then you scroll even further. Then I move to the last thing, which is urgency and scarcity. Okay. Some people they have to be pushed over the edge. Like they need that last little push. So the last bottom of the page is all focused on urgency and scarcity. This is why you need to buy it and why you need to buy it right now. Okay, so whatever your urgency and scarcity limits are. Some people it's like you only have X amount of the products, and there's the timeline. Like I don't care what it is, you got to figure out a true, real urgency and scarcity to push people over. And that is how we structure a sales page: emotion, logic, and fear. All right, number 4, offer an order form bump to increase sales. This is one of the things that seems so simple now, but literally 10 years ago when we kind of discovered this, changed all of our businesses forever. Okay, the order form bump. I want you to visualize. Imagine you're at the grocery store, right? And you got to go buy some stuff. So you're at the grocery store and you're buying hot dogs and ketchup and buns and chips and you're getting all this stuff for the big game coming up. And then you're checking out the checkout stand. And as you're walking to the checkout stand, you start looking, you're like, oh, National Enquirer, like the world's largest baby. That's hilarious. And you grab it and you throw it in your thing. You're like, oh, Tic Tacs. My breast stinks, but the orange ones taste really good. So you grab some Tic Tacs and some gum and a Snickers bar and like the things you're grabbing as you're checking out. That is your order form bump. So somebody comes to my pages and they go and buy something, they're buying some stuff, and for years we would just sell them the product. We might have upsells and downsells, but somewhere along the line, I saw a page that somebody had. It was a bigger company, and they had this thing, and what happened is right after somebody puts in their credit card, and this is essentials, after they put in their credit card, but before they click the submit button, they had this little block right here that I started calling up an order form bump. The key is this: after someone puts in their credit card, before they put in the thing, you have an offer that's really quick there for $17, $27, $37, an impulse buy. If it's something that needs to be explained over like 10 paragraphs, it's not the right thing. If you're selling a book, like, hey, do you want the audiobook? Or if you're selling like a training course, like, hey, do you want the templates? Like it's got to be an impulse buy that you add right there. And in most of our funnels, the profit that comes from this covers our ad spend. It covers the Google ads, the Facebook ads, or whatever that thing might be. And so it's one of the most powerful little ninja stealth things you can add into any funnel that literally will cover all your ad costs. Now everything else you sell in the funnel becomes pure profit. It all comes down to this one little block right here, the order form bump that happens between the credit card number and before the submit button right there, and it is magic. Number 5. As we were creating upsells, this is one of the biggest problems people make when they have upsells. Somebody buys your product and you have the upsell page, right? What the biggest mistake most people make is the upsell page happens and they say, thank you for your order. We have received your order. And they close the loop. As soon as you do that, your conversions on whatever happens afterwards will dramatically decrease. And this is based on thousands and thousands of tests. The goal on the upsell page, you have to keep the buying loop open. So if you notice any of my upsell pages, they never say like, thank you so much for your order. It always stops and says like, wait, your order's not yet complete. Don't shut this page down. I have to keep the buying loop open. Like, it's not done yet. We need to customize your orders. You want to add some other cool things to your order before we close this thing out. I do not close the loop. I keep it open during the upsell process. Okay, I've had people before who come to us for consulting and like they have this upsell and the only thing we change is from like, thank you for your order. It's like, wait, your order's not yet complete, and increases conversions dramatically. Number 6, after someone goes through your funnel and land on your thank you page, you can create what we call an offer wall. And an offer wall is how you can push people into your other value ladder. So for example, listen right here. This is the thank you page for buying one of our products. And down below it says, oh, by the way, here's other cool stuff. You could join our Funnel University. You get the .com Secrets book, you get the 108 Split Test book, and all this is just free traffic that comes to you. Okay, so after someone's gone through your sales funnel and they land on your thank you page, don't think that they're done buying. What typically happens is that for a lot of people, especially the hyperactive buyers, they're like, this is awesome, and they start looking for more stuff to buy. And they buy from your competitors and other competitors. You're like, you lost them. So why not just allow them to continue with you in the process? That's number 6, and I got one more. You guys ready for the last one? What we do is we add a webinar to the thank you page to increase sales. So if you look at a bunch of our funnels, the very last page is like, thank you so much for ordering the product. Now, I want to start your training right now, okay? The product's being shipped to you in the mail. You're going to get it. We're going to start right now. We're going to get into business, and we start teaching right away. And this thank you page is the webinar. Now, a percentage of all the people who buy one of our free plus shipping books start buying our $2,000 product we sell at the back as well. And that is what a thank you page webinar is. All right, I hope you love those 7 different secrets. If you like those, please let me know in the comments down below and I will give you some more. In fact, if you want 99 other marketing secrets that will change your business and they might change your life, I've got a free PDF. All you gotta do is go to marketingsecrets.com/blackbook to get that PDF and it'll give you even more marketing secrets you can go and implement into your funnels. With that said, thank you again so much for listening, and I cannot wait to show you guys the next video. If you're not subscribed yet, go subscribe because the next video is coming up right now.